In Japan, there's a special event that shows how different education can be from what many of us grew up with. It's called Undōkai, often translated as Sport Day, but it's so much more than that. This year, as I sat there with my camera, watching my 2-year-old at his second Undōkai, I don't know what to expect. Would this be like last time? Would the struggle be continued? What happened brought tears to my eyes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you the full story. Hi, I'm Trunks. I'm a software engineer living here in Tokyo. In this channel, I share insight about life in Japan, travel discovery, daily life hack, and smart finance tips for expat. If that sounds valuable to you, consider subscribing and hit that like button on this video. So today's video is a bit different. It's personal, it's emotional, and I think it's offer valuable insight into Japan's early childhood. And I think it's offer valuable insight into Japan's early childhood education that several parents living here or thinking about moving here with kids should know about. So before we dive in, let me give you some context. So my son attends a Nguyen or daycare center in Japan. He's 2 years old now and he's growing up bilingual, learning both Japanese and Vietnamese. So what exactly is Undōkai? So if you're living from Vietnam like me or from Western countries, you may think of sport days as competitive events. Race, winners, medal, maybe some kids feeling left out. But Japanese Undōkai is fundamentally different. Yes, there are race and physical activities, but the core philosophy is about something else entirely. First, everyone participates. There are no kids sitting on the sideline. Every child, regardless of their athletic ability, has a role in the event. Even if a child is crying, struggling, or need extra support, they still participate. The teacher ensures no one is left out. And second, it's not really about winning, it's about ganbaru, which means doing your best, preserving, putting in the effort. In fact, there's even a song the teacher taught our kids called Ganbariman, which is all about effort, teamwork, and yasashi kokoro, or a kind heart. And third is emphasize group harmony. Kids learn to work together, support their classmates, and celebrate collective achievement rather than individual glories. This event happens every year at Japanese school, from Nguyen all the way through high school. It's a tradition that goes back over centuries, and it reflects something deep about Japan's value. The idea that educational isn't just about academics learning, but about building characters, resilience, and community spirit. Now let me take you back to last year. There was an event at his Nguyen called Undōkai, an event where kids perform songs and dance in front of everyone. Unlike Undōkai where parents help and participate, this was his moment to stand up there, alone, in front of the crowd, and was completely overwhelmed. Not just crying, he was panicking. The venue was packed, loud music playing, all eyes on him. For a toddler barely over 1 year old, standing alone without his parents or teachers to hold on to, it was just too much sensory overload. And as a parent watching this, my heart just sank. It wasn't disappointment at him, not at all. It just was the feeling of seeing your child overwhelmed and wondering if you're making the right choice. Would he always struggle when he has to stand alone in front of people? Was the environment just too stressful for a little kid to handle? Would this anxiety follow him as he grew up? And all I wanted in that moment was just to jump up there, scoop him up in my arms, hold him tightly and whisper into him, "It's alright, I'm here, you don't have to worry." Fast forward to this year, October 2025, same venue, same overwhelming atmosphere, maybe even more parent this time. And you know what? At the beginning of the event, when teacher was organizing all the kids, he started crying again. And not just a few tears, he was still panicking, overwhelmed by the crowd. He clinging desperately to his favorite sensei. His little hands gripping her clothes, not wanting to let go. And I'm sitting there with my camera and my heart just sank again. I was worried, heartbroken even, thinking, oh no, is he okay? Is he ready for this? Maybe this is still too much for him. Maybe next time, maybe next year. But then, something incredible happens. So teachers started calling attendants, each child name one by one, and when they called my son's name in Japanese, he let go of his teacher and he raised his hand. He stopped crying. In that moment, I realized he wasn't the same panic, overwhelmed kid from last year Undōkai, standing alone and crying in front of everyone. He wasn't even the same kid from 5 minutes ago who was crying desperately and clinging to his teacher. He stood there with his poker face. No big smile, no obvious excitement, just this composed, serious expressions. But he was standing alone, not panicking, not crying, surrounded by hundreds of people, loud noise, and all eyes on the kids. And he was okay. And when he passed by me during the parent-child activity, he didn't have a huge smile on his face. He has this look of intense focus. He even gave me a little wave as he ran past, and that was better than any trophy. This transformation didn't happen by accident, and that's what I want to talk about next. The incredibly work that Japanese teachers do behind the scenes. Let me share something about teachers. Teaching is, in my opinion, one of the most noble and respectable careers. Think about it. The older our kid gets, the more time they spend with a teacher than us, the parents. Teachers have a massive impact on forming our children's personality, especially in their early childhood years. So I evaluate my son's teacher very closely and I have the utmost respect for them. In my home country, Vietnam, I don't think the teaching professions is respected well enough, but here in Japan, it's different. Japanese teacher or sensei are incredibly patient, thoughtful, and treat every child as if they were their own. For this Undōkai, the preparation started a month in advance. Every week, the teachers send us notifications through the Hoiken app. They tell us, please make sure your child wears gym clothes and has enough waters, etc. They practice in the summer heat of August and September, so the teacher constantly reminded us about hydration and ensuring our kid got proper breakfast and sleep to prevent heat stroke. But here's what really impressed me. Look at these decorations. Look at all the setup for each activities. All of this was handmade by the teachers. They made everything from recyclable material, cardboard boxes, old fabric, paper, and this reflects something very Japanese, what I call mottainai, the spirit of not wasting resources. It also showed their monozukuri, or the craftsmanship that care in making things by hand. It matters more than using expensive material. This is a value they are teaching our kids from the very beginning. And at the very beginning of the events, one of the teachers addresses all of us parents. She said something that really stuck with me. The children have been preparing for a long time. Let's see what they can do. While watching, please don't just record on your smartphone this precious moment, but please applaud loudly. That is the greatest action to recognize all the effort the kids have put in for months. Your recognition means everything for them. And you know what? Even when my son was crying at the start, the teacher didn't panic. They didn't force him. They just stayed calm, supportive, and trusted that when his moment came, he would rise for it. And he did. Let me show you the activity my son's class did. It was based on the Very Hungry Caterpillars, which is one of the kids' favorite ihong. The teachers read to them every day, and here's how it works. First, the kid did the kakeko, a short running race from the start line to where we parents were waiting. Then we helped them choose between going through a tunnel or crossing a bumpy mat. They got to pick their favorite. Next, they selected food items, vegetable and fruit, and fed them to the big caterpillar the teacher has made. Finally, we dressed them in a butterfly wings because after the caterpillar eat, it transformed into a butterfly. And together we ran into the finish line. The symbol here is beautiful, right? The child overcome obstacles, nourish themselves, and transform into something new. It's not just a fun game, it's a metaphor for growth and development. And watching my son go through this activity, the same kid who was crying just 20 minutes earlier, running, choosing his path, feeding the caterpillars, wearing those butterfly wings, it feels like the activity itself was telling his story. He was that caterpillar, struggling and growing, and in that moment, he transformed into a butterfly. Throughout the events, I watched not just my son's class, but the older kids too. The 5-year-olds giving speeches in front of everyone, the coordinated dances, the way teachers constantly encourage every small effort. Every time a child completed an activity, the teacher cheered. Not just for the fast ones, not just for the coordinated one. It's for everyone. よくできましたね。すごい。Even the kids who cried, who need extra help, who move slowly, they all got the same enthusiastic recognitions. As someone from Vietnam, I cannot help but compare. The education system I grew up with was competitive, test-focused, and honestly quite stressful. Winner was celebrated, but what about everyone else? Here's in Japan, I'm seeing a different approach. It's not perfect. Well, no system is, but there is this emphasis on building the whole child. Confidence, resilience, social skills, kindness, effort, etc. These matter just as much as academic achievement. And the teacher, they are not just instructor, they are nurturers. They saw my son crying at the start and didn't give up on him. They trusted the process. They trusted him and he delivered. So what is my takeaway from all of this? Not every kid are the same. Some kids jump right in, some kids need time. Some kids cry at the first event, second event, maybe even the third event. And that doesn't mean something is wrong. It doesn't mean you're failed as a parent. It doesn't mean your child cannot handle it. It just means that this is who they are right now. We have to accept them, accept where they are in their journey. Because that acceptance, that's where the growth begins. My son cried at Undōkai. He started crying at this Undōkai too. And he had to sit there and accept that this is his process. This is his timeline. Not my timeline. Not other kids' timeline. It's his timeline. I look around at any Undōkai or Hapiokai and I see it like every child is different. Some are dancing with a big smile. Some are serious and focused. Some need teacher's hand, some need the moment to cry first, and they are all doing great. If you found this video helpful or insightful, please hit that like button. It's really help all the expat family find this content. Subscribe if you want to see more about life in Japan, parenting, and everyday experience of raising kids in Tokyo. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you are a parent in Japan, has your child experienced Undōkai or Hapiokai? How did they handle standing in front of a crowd? Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.